Hi everyone and welcome back to another English class. Before I even introduce you to today's topic, I want you to take a look at this short video clip. Look at it thoughtfully and I shall see you at the end of it. Now, I want you to quickly prepare a list of all the sounds of nature that you heard. Kindly hit the pause button while you are at it. I hope you are not missing out on any of those beautiful sounds of nature. Let us take a quick look at your list. So, some of the things that have made it to your list are birds, the waves, the wind, grass, pebbles, the stream, fire crackling, raindrops. Well, William Shakespeare has rightly said, "The earth has music for those who listen." This brings us to the topic of the day, a poem by John Keats, who insists that the poetry of the earth is never dead, in his sonnet on the grasshopper and cricket. Before we get on with the poem, let us learn a little about our poet. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. These melodious words belong to the poet we learn today, John Keats. John Keats, one of my personal favorites, was a revered English romantic poet whose short life spanned just 25 years. John Keats was born on 31st October 1795 in London. He was the oldest of Thomas and Frances Keats' 5 children. John lost his parents at an early age. He was only 8 when his father, a stable manager, was killed in an accident that involved either being trampled by a horse or falling from one. His father's death had a profound effect on the young boy's life. His mother, after a second marriage and divorce, died from a lung disease in 1810. In the following year, Keats became an apprentice to an apothecary in Edmonton, England. After completing his training, he became an assistant to a surgeon. But he was more mesmerized by poetry, so he never really practiced his trade. Instead, he turned to writing some of the most beautiful poetry of the time. Some of his famous work include Hyperion, To Autumn, On Melancholy, Ode to a Nightingale, Endymion, among many others. In the summer of 1818, Keats went on a walking tour in the Lake District of northern England and Scotland, and his exposure and overexertions during this trip brought on the first symptoms of the tuberculosis, which became the primary reason of his early death on 23rd February 1821. On the Grasshopper and Cricket by John Keats is a fine piece of sonnet written in December 1816. The poem was inspired by the beauty of nature, the most common theme among the Romantic poets. To be precise, the poet here celebrates the poetry of the earth, the music of nature, which is omnipresent. Let us thoughtfully listen to the recitation of the poem. On the Grasshopper and Cricket by John Keats. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. That is the grasshopper's. He takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there shrills the cricket's song, in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. With this, we come to an end of the first session. Kindly take a look at your homework.